Alrighty, so the JP patch notes came out for the new Halloween banner that they're going to have, and honestly, these things are really interesting. So I just wanted to go over some of like the keynotes and everything, because it's not too long. There's just a couple of things that are kind of interesting. So we are getting two new characters. We're getting a brand new Diane, and I assume that she's a giant Diane because of her cosmetics and everything. She does use Gideon, so she should be a bigger unit, not one of the smaller Dianes, which is pretty interesting. I'm still pretty upset, honestly, that she's a brand new named Diane, so I guess it's fair because we just got a new small Diane, so this is going to be a new big Diane. I guess that's okay, but it's so annoying having to go through and buy outfits for every single one of these new characters and stuff like that. So yeah, brand new Diane, and we're also getting a brand new Slater, which I don't think anybody really thought we were going to get. I think a lot of people were still thinking that we were going to get an Escanor unit, which would have been really cool, honestly. Like, I'm not hating on Escanor, but I like Slater quite a bit, and this new Slater actually seems like he's going to be really cool. He does have the same ultimate as the old Slater, so he's going to have the same outfits and everything, which is kind of nice because if you've already invested some into your old Slaters, the outfit should end up carrying over to this one, and his outfit's so good too. So we already have the skill translations because I'm super late to this, but honestly, the Diane doesn't seem all that great. So she's obviously a giant. Her passive is increases the damage taken by enemies that used a skill by 20% for 3 turns, activates when entering the battle, excludes deathmatch, applies before skill activation, limit of 4 times. So, I mean, that doesn't sound super crazy, and I mean, I don't know what it is about this sentence, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Increases the damage taken by enemies that use skills. I guess there's just a little bit of weird English in that, but I'm assuming as the enemy team attacks, each of their characters can get up to 4 stacks of this skill on them, which reduces their damage taken. So, I mean, obviously it's not going to be super crazy in this meta because there's a lot of cleanses going around with Margaret, but it's kind of interesting. I don't think that I'm honestly more excited for Slater than I am this unit because honestly her regular skills are kind of just meh. Inflicts charge damage equal to 500% of attack on one enemy. That's fine, I guess. Like, charge damage ignores either resistance or it's defense. I think it's defense. I can't remember exactly. I'm pretty sure it's defense though, which is fine, I guess. Like, I'm 500%. I'm sure that'll hit pretty hard, but okay. And then inflicts damage equal to 180% of attack on all enemies, and then disables skill effects. Or disables attack skills. Sorry. So it's an attack seal card, and it's an AoE, so that's honestly kind of cool, but I don't know. She doesn't seem like she has a whole lot going on, and then she has a sever ulti that only attacks one enemy, so it's a single target sever damage attack, which is okay as well. Like, I mean, I don't know. She just seems very meh. Like, she doesn't seem like she has a whole lot going for her. Like, this passive is interesting, but until they make more, like, solo giant support, I couldn't really see somebody running this character over anybody else that's already in the game, really. Like, that's already meta, at least. And then the new Slater. So this new Slater is actually really cool, in my opinion. I think he's going to be the most useful, but he is a PvP unit, so he's obviously human. He's a red unit. When the hero gets attacked in PvP, reduces all damage received from critical hits by 80%, then decreases allies' attack or increases allies' attack by 10% for 2 turns. So that's honestly not a huge buff. 10% of attack isn't super crazy, but the fact that he reduces critical hit damage like by so much is pretty crazy. Plus, his attacks are really good in my opinion. So inflicts damage equal to 400% of attack on one enemy and blocks all skill effects, including those of ultimate moves for 2 turns, excludes stances and recovery skills. So this is really good because, you know, recovery skills are going to be the only thing that are going to be able to cleanse this. And, I mean, stances are stances, so it is what it is. I think Estarossa should be the only one, I think, that'll end up getting like immunity to this, or if you have Estarossa on the team and you use somebody with a stance, because he gains immunity when he uses a stance, which is kind of interesting. But I mean, he uses a skill disable, sort of like Chandler, sort of like Mark II Valenti, which is honestly a pretty good skill. Like, that's probably one of Chandler's most prominent features. And then his other skill is kind of like the old Red Slater, but this one's an SSR, so his stats should be a little bit better at least. Hopefully his stats are probably going to be still pretty bad because he's an old typed unit, but decreases attack related stats of one enemy by 40% and disables everything but its attack skills for 3 turns. So he pretty much has the same sort of disable card that Red Slater, like the old SR Red Slater, has, which is really cool because this skill is so useful. Like it's actually really good. So hopefully his stats are decent enough, and you know, his passive and everything can be utilized to a decent potential for him to actually be a little bit meta, because honestly, like, this card is so good. His ults are the same, so he still has the combined ult with Simon, which is really interesting, and he just deals damage and then infects for 2 turns, which is pretty okay. Infect isn't really like a crazy skill effect. It would maybe help against like bond teams or something, so that way his buff card doesn't continuously just keep healing you. There are special missions, and we're gonna get a free copy of Meliodas, which is really cool. I actually don't have this Meliodas. He's one of the only units in the game I don't have, besides the Halloween Elaine as well. I didn't get her when she was originally out, which is kind of cool. I would like to get Elaine more than Melly, but the fact that I'll have him at least in the roster is kind of nice. I don't plan on using him at all, but yeah, he's pretty bad. We're also getting a free multi's worth of tickets, which is really nice. So moving on, we have the actual banner itself. So the banner is going to be a 600 mileage, which is a little disappointing. I just really hate 600 mileages. I guess if any of them deserve to be a 600 mileage, since they just did a step up banner, I guess this is okay. But I really hate 600 mileages. But yeah, obviously you can use tickets or diamonds. There's going to be bundles and everything, but the lineup is pretty good. So increased rates are for the new Diane, the new Slater, and for Halloween Gother. So this is your chance. I've been telling everybody that, you know, if you want to get Gother, you should probably save for the Halloween banner, which this is the big one. I think if you're on global, I would probably recommend skipping Matrona if you already have green tank Diane, or if you already have Valentine's Day Derriere, the blue Derriere. I think that they should be fine, honestly, for the bird. Like, it's not going to be quite as good because of Matrona's recovery skill, or recovery like passive, but I mean, I'm honestly just taking it so easy on the bird. I really could care less if I like farm that out super hard, because it seems like over time they're they're coming out with new characters that are better for it, and they're sort of adding some of those materials to different kinds of exchange shops and stuff, like the World Tree exchange shop. You can now buy the little like wind tokens or whatever, which is the good ones that you need for like SSR and SR relics. So I think it should just only get easier in the future, so I'm not really worried about it, to be honest, at the moment. But yeah, really good rate up units. And then for the actual banner itself, we have Halloween Elaine, Halloween Meliodas, Halloween Gila on the banner. We have Demon Hendrickson, which is pretty decent. I think this is Red Zeldris and Red Estarosa, I think, because of the 10 Commandments. I'm not quite sure on the thing there. We do have Sariel on the banner, which is kind of nice. We have Nanashi on the banner, and we have the Blue Hawk and Oslo. I don't have Blue Hawk and Oslo, so I would kind of like to get him if possible, just to have him, because I'm missing him. But he's honestly not crazy. Like, it's not really like a unit worth like breaking your bank over or anything like that. Nanashi's kind of nice. I could use more, copies of him. He's a really decent backline unit if you have the right team for him. Sariel's obviously fantastic. So I think if they're only going to add one Archangel like they did, Sariel's probably the one to do it with. Honestly, these two could be changed to something a little bit better, but as far as the rest of the banner goes, it's honestly not bad. I mean, these Halloween units aren't great by any means. I think the Elaine is probably the more useful one out of the three, but it is what it is. It's a Halloween banner, so you would expect the Halloween sort of seasonal units to be on here. But yeah, honestly, pretty simple banner. Like, I think it's honestly a pretty decent value. So if you want to start saving up for it, I think the new units look really good. I love this new Slater's outfit, by the way. It almost reminds me of like Bloodborne or something like that. It's really, really cool. So moving on, because I always think that this is going to be super fast and simple video, but it never is, because I talk myself to death here. Diane, obviously, just because she's a new unit, is getting new costumes. This one on the left honestly looks fantastic. Don't really care about the other two. This one's alright, I guess. But this SSR one, I hate it. Anyway, moving on. They are coming out with 2 new Halloween outfits for Margaret Ludo and Hijack Gother. The Hijack Gother one looks phenomenal in my opinion, like really, really cool in my opinion. I don't hate this one. Like, I do like that little thing, the little white at the top of her, you know, dress thing, and the sword and the headpiece looked pretty cool. But like I said in a video prior to this, I already have all of my cosmetics maxed out and everything for Margaret, so there's no need for me to buy this unless I just want the costume itself. And I think I'm just going to save myself a little bit of money there and not worry about it. So if you're in the same boat, I would recommend you do the same, unless you just want to have it. But honestly, I haven't bought any outfits for Gother, and this one does seem like it's a pretty cool outfit. I'm not really planning on buying any outfits for Gother, so I think I'll just save on the ones that they have currently, because I don't really like the way any of them look, and I'm not really worried about my Gother having like insane CC or anything like that, because he's just kind of like a support unit anyway. So I think if I'm going to buy any of them, it's going to be this one whenever it comes out. But that's pretty much it. That's all I have for you, because this is just sort of like a quick JP patch note. So I'm kind of excited to see how it goes, because honestly, the new units seem okay. Like, I'm not really thrilled about the Diane, to be honest. The fact that you have to get new cosmetics for her, and her kit just seems kind of meh at best. But Slater seems really cool. The banner seems pretty decent. These outfits are pretty cool. So I don't know. Honestly, not a bad update as far as I'm concerned. There's, you know, you get a free copy of Meliodas, which is cool, I guess. But that's pretty much it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe for more content in the future, and I'll see you guys in the next video.